Good afternoon, happy Monday, and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we are welcoming on the North Shore CDC. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Great. So we'll start off with an easy one. Would you mind just going down the line, telling us your name and then your role or title?
My name is Shantewl, Alix. I'm the Director of Community Building for North Shore CDC.
I am Jasmine, Graddy, and I am the Director of Workforce Development at YouthBuild North Shore.
Cool. Santiago Sanchez, pronouns he, him, él, Director of the Punto Art Museum.
Great. So before we dive into what you all do specifically, would you be able to give just a brief overview of the mission of the North Shore CDC? Anyone?
Yeah, we invest in neighborhoods to create thriving communities.
Great.
That's how we do it. And we do that through affordable housing, workforce development, and a lot of different types of programs in the community.
I like it. Short, sweet, direct, and based on your website, you all do a ton of work in all different communities. Since we're here to talk about Lynn, I guess, Shantewl, I'll start with you. You are in charge of the community building, so what sort of programs do you run either in Lynn or for Lynn residents?
Sure. Most of my programs, residents from Lynn can actually have access to. We have a free income tax preparation program that people can apply. It's appointment only. The idea is that residents will call, set up an appointment, and can tackle into that. We have a small business technical assistant program when we provide one-on-one consultation on business that already exists or businesses that people who are inspiring to have their own business. We also have a pop-up incubator space that people will rent for free.
Wow.
We do computer classes, and we do pretty much anything that is community building related. People can call and ask for that.
Nice. That's great. And then we move over to the younger section, the YouthBuild. Jasmine, that's your department. So would you be able to explain a little bit about that? It's a place where students can learn more at their own pace, kind of an alternative to maybe more traditional learning.
Yeah, YouthBuild North Shore is a workforce development program that helps young people 16 to 24 obtain their high school equivalency diploma, as well as learn a trade in either construction, culinary and hospitality, or healthcare.
So that, I mean, that can be extremely useful, especially now in this day and age. It's a way to learn a skill and then be able to go right out into the workforce and use it, right?
Yeah, the majority of our young people do come from the city of Lynn, but we do serve the North Shore. And our program is a little bit different from other alternative programs just because we do offer wraparound services.
Okay.
So young people coming in, they'll have a case manager, a life coach where they would meet with them once a week to work on their goals, track progress, and just to check in, just for additional support.
Mm-hmm. So, and then the last point we're going to hit is the art section. You're director for an urban art center, which is based in Salem, is that correct?
Yeah, specifically in the Point neighborhood in Sanchez, Punto neighborhood. And how that directly ties into like the residents you have here in Lynn is we do open calls on an annual basis, and these are open up to all Massachusetts artists. So we have a local artist wall located on PBG Street, and then there's a couple of Lynn artists that have murals on in part of that project right now.
You say these all sound really interesting, and they may sound individual in nature, but I would assume there's quite a bit of overlap between your programs as well. If you want to speak on that at all.
Yeah, so YouthBuild participants are AmeriCorps participants, and so all of our young people have to do 450 hours of community service.
Wow.
And so we work a lot with the community building department as well as the Punto Urban Arts Museum. If they need help or support, especially when they're doing things in the community, our AmeriCorps members are there to support.
Nice. And one thing I noticed about Community Build too, when you were talking about, the one-on-one counseling, one focus is on women or minority-owned businesses. Why do you think that's so important to highlight?
It's very important to highlight because there's a lot of resources across the state, and usually when you look at data, those are the populations that usually don't get those resources. So
Right.
we have made it our focus to make sure that the outreach is out into the people who need it the most. And our program design it's created so that it's supporting those communities specifically.
And then in terms of outreach and how that works, we're speaking about business, workforce. If they are, let's say, an artist in Lynn, someone who's interested in creating more of a mural, how does that work with?
Yeah, so the open calls that go out specifically will look for artists that live in Massachusetts. And so when they submit like a portfolio or an idea for the mural they want to create, and then they'll work directly with our team to create those murals. Oftentimes we work with the YouthBuild specifically with the students. We'll have opportunities to meet those artists and work with those artists. Like we have a gallery show opening up next week, and the students were the ones coming in doing repairs on the wall, painting the walls, getting the space ready for the artwork that's going to be put on display. Mm-hmm.
And are there any kinds of age limits for artists who can work, or is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no age limits, no limitations on where they work, no limits at all. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Say that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Really opens it up. You have, what was it, 75 full-scale murals, which is very impressive.
Yeah, quite a few murals throughout the neighborhood. And then on the local artist wall, there's 20 murals that are there as well. So there's quite a bit to see.
Yeah, driving around Salem or any of the places in the North Shore, murals are really starting to pop up. They're becoming very common forms of public art, which is amazing to see. Before the show began, but you've all been working there now for several years. So what would you say you've seen as the largest impact from the North Shore CDC, or maybe your favorite memory you've had throughout the years?
Well, I feel like I have so many, but one of them that's really important for me is when we have alumni to come back and give updates on where they're at in life. We just recently had a graduate, Tamara Flowers, who was also a resident here in Lynn, but just moved. She was in the program in 2018, and she just graduated early this year. Wow. And had she been in traditional educational training, they might have pushed her out because of her age. But the fact that, she was here with us, she pushed, she did what she needed to do, there was ups and downs, but she got through it. And for her to come back to be like, I'm a high school graduate, I have my Surf Safe manager certificate. She wants to be her own chef. She wants to have her own business and cooking. And actually, she just cooked for our Black History Month alumni meeting. So if you guys are looking for someone to cater, she does small events. But things like that, when alumni come back and they have these success stories and they want to give back and give to the newer participants that are in the program, it means a lot to us. So just alumni successes and updates, and for them to come back and pour into the new young people coming into the program. That's one of the successes.
Yeah, one of many, I'm sure.
Yeah, very similar to me. I would say we started doing computer classes recently when the pandemic happened. It was sort of like a wake-up call for us, understanding the digital gap that existed in communities. But being able to see, last year we were able to engage about 56 people just in computer classes who graduated the program. We provide free computers to them for participating. Being able grandmothers scheduling their flights to their home country was very inspiring. But in community development, I do see, anytime I see a resident doing something for themselves is something that I find joy in personally.
I would say for me it would be our Mural Ambassador program, which is specifically training residents to be the ones who are giving mural tours and also being like the attendants for like our program spaces. And so we actually have one resident, Lynn resident, who's participating in the program, Marino Roque. She's actually a YouthBuild graduate. And so this is a really great way for like folks to engage with the museum, have agency in the work that we're doing, but also be able to like put forth like the pride that they have, in the beautiful artwork that's here in Massachusetts.
And what all three of you just touched upon is it's a very full circle organization. You have people come through the program, and then many of them come and give back, and it just keeps cycling, which is a very impressive thing that you've been able to create because there's so much passion with it. And I know it goes by so quickly that I do have to wrap up in a moment, but was there anything else that any of you wanted to mention that I hadn't touched upon before we wrap up?
For sure. So YouthBuild is currently enrolling. So if you are a 16 to 24 out-of-school youth that is looking to get their high school equivalency diploma, we would love for you to come by. We're located in Salem on 96 Lafayette Street. Just walk right in. We're there 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 3:30.
Awesome.
I'll also say if people are interested in applying for affordable housing, there's a waiting list, 6 months to 2 years.
Wow.
But I always encourage people to apply, because if there's 10 people in front of you and they don't qualify, you might be next. We provide translation services and we help folks complete their application. So if people want to just reach out and set up an appointment for that, that will be helpful too.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I would think I focus on our local artist wall. We're going to be changing those murals out in August and putting out an open call in May, June. So that's a great opportunity for any artists that are living in Lynn to participate in the work that we're doing.
So we have some really exciting upcoming opportunities with all, and I'm wicked excited to see where it goes and how you just keep building. But I want to thank you all again so much for coming on to share this really amazing program with the Lynn community.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Of course, thank you anytime. And once again, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.